Okay, we're ready.
We're ready now?
Yep, we're live.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, we'll call this meeting in the Rock Conservancy to order at 5:04. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as read. I'll second.
Got a motion by Nikki, seconded by Kathy to accept the minutes as printed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Treasurer's report.
Okay, the balance in the checking account as of 4/30/26 is $8,580.11. And I have no claims.
Okay.
But I do have something.
All right.
We need to elect, our 2026 officers.
Did we advertise it?
Yes,
Okay.
so, we just need to know if you wanna keep them the same or what we wanna do.
I'll make a motion to keep them the same.
I second that.
You get that, Lisa?
It's been a motion to keep the officers the same for next year. Made by Bill, seconded by Nikki. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Officers be the same.
Okay.
I gotta get on the sheet somewhere.
Okay, so, we have Jeff Engel here. Jeff, or Hales. There's Jeff Engel too. If you wanna come up here and sit down, and tell the board what you're here for, Jeff.
Good evening. I live at 209 East Grove Street, and we had in 2021 a sump pump installed in our crawl space. And right now we have a hose that runs out to the other end of the yard, all the way over to Lincoln. So we're just trying to figure out what we need to do to get it connected to a drain tile. We had spoken to
We had all
JR.
that located 2 or 3 years ago, right? All the flags out front. Somebody, you were there then, right?
Say there's been flags constantly put out there, so
But
Were you in on that, Brian? We located that. And then JR was supposed to start something and nothing ever happened.
say we talked to him for about 2 years and he still hasn't.
JR,
There's a tile on the south side of the road, there's a tile on the north side of the road. Tile on the south side, we're pretty sure it's good, but we were gonna dig at the corner and run a locate it, make sure it's all open. And then if it was open, we were gonna tie a tile into him and go down the alley beside his house or the.
we found the tile on the south side of the room.
No, we know that there's one there, but we're not sure exactly where. We thought it went to the corner and then went south, but we found out later that it didn't go south, but we think there's one on the south side of the road that goes to the corner.
Well, we know there's a good tile in Bannister's yard. For like, I don't know what lot it is, right? Cause it never stands full of water. And it's right beside him.
Yeah.
The water goes that way and it goes down and there's gotta be a tile there somewhere in her yard.
We think the tile runs from the corner, the main street, along the south side of the road, all the way up to the corner by his house, but it may stop someplace up there by Bannister's.
Right.
We need to find that tile and then turn and go down the easement to the
Okay.
west side of his house, and then so that it'll drain his, or we can at least get a sump up into that or drain his basement.
Okay. It may be easier to dig at the corner of Main, or not Main, at the corner of Clay and Grove and find it. In her yard, basically,
Yeah.
right at the corner,
See if we can-
find it there, and then rather than go all the way up to Lincoln and try to find it. Since we know there's a tile there somewhere,
Mhm.
I don't know what direction we'll have to go once we start digging a hole, but we know her yard drains,
Right,
so.
her yard drains, their water never stands there, so.
hey, what house is that? Bannister's.
The
South,
ones-
southeast corner of Grove and Clay.
Right, straight east or west of Jeff's.
Yep.
Across that little alley. If Jeff had just run his water that way and let it run down her yard, then it would all go away.
You
So-
know, get his basement drained.
Yeah. So that would be my thought. Would be digging the corner right there. See if we can find the tile. Now, I don't know how we've dug mysterious holes before and we spent thousands of dollars and never found a tile,
We
so
might be able to start with just probing and see if we can find something with probe.
maybe, yeah.
We'll look at.
Maybe even go into her backyard and see if you can find a tile.
I know that we looked at the map one time and according to the sewer map, there's a tile on both sides. And you guys said that the tiles on the north side of the road doesn't take water all the way. It used to, but doesn't anymore. That's why it's the one on the south side.
Yeah, the only-
Or one on the one on the south side.
Right, the tile on the north side of the road, the one I know of is clear down at Main. Where it cuts the angle and goes to the outlet.
Right.
It's right there and we ran locator up there and it went up across the street. At about, not the first house, but about the second house. And we got to the middle of the street and it quit. That's as far as he could go. So I don't know of any other tile on the north side of the road. That's the only tile I'm aware of on the north side of that road. So, but what do you guys think?
Well, he's been trying to get a hold of JR for
Well, it's,
2
yeah,
years, so I mean,
Well, I think the
Should he
first
try
thing to do is,
calling
like you
Josh,
said,
or-
probe find the tile first.
if we can find a tile, it'd be great.
Yeah, especially the like, I mean,
And if not, our option basically is start at Main Street. And dig on the south side of Main Street all the way to his house. To his house.
yeah.
So who's gonna probe it?
Well, we'll have
What'd you
the fire.
say, Shane?
Who's gonna probe it?
Are you guys gonna probe around and see if you can find the
We'll
tile?
try and then we'll get a hold of Josh, but he's got our probe's a short probe, so we'll get a longer probe if we have to, but we'll try to see if we can find it.
So Wednesday we'll get on it?
Mhm.
Okay.
And if you guys can at least start it, maybe you get lucky and hit a tile somewhere. As long as it's,
I know, I shouldn't have like a needle in a haystack, but we'll try.
oh yeah, it is, yeah,
It
it's,
could be under the street.
yeah,
Could we need a camera? I mean, would that help at all?
after we find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the camera will do good, it can't crawl underground and look for us.
Well, I didn't know, like, once you like. did.
According to our sewer map, there's one on both sides and it runs all the way to the corner. And then the sewer map also showed that it turned at Lincoln Street and then went
South,
And then we never did find that one, so.
right, you never found that when we dug all that up
Or
for,
pick up-
the Coker, right?
Hmm.
And that tile went across the street, if I remember right.
Mhm.
North of the Cokers went across the street into well, I don't know who lives in that house now, but
Hey, friend.
It's Prairie Dairy House now, but then
who, oh,
Prairie Dairy.
Prairie Dairy, yeah. So, yeah, if you guys just start probing there, maybe we get lucky and find something and maybe, fingers crossed.
Yeah, Bill, cross your fingers for us.
Mhm.
Mine crossed, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand your situation there. It's, when you pump water all the time, it makes it for a long summer of mowing grass when you put water out of your house into the yard to.
And having to move the hose all the time.
But you got some green grass though.
Out there, yeah.
Yeah.
In the middle of summer, he had regress.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll get on it. If you see us digging, you'll know what it's for. If you see the flags show up, you know we found a tile.
Excellent.
No motion on that.
Yeah, we'll probably get somebody to make a motion that, Brian will start probing, and if they find something, to get a hold of one of the others, whichever.
I'll
one
make
of
the
you-
motion.
Whichever one of you
I'll
can get a hold of, be available in town.
I'll second that.
Okay, who?
He made the motion.
Jason made the motion.
Yeah.
To get a hold of Yoders once
Start
we
with
found.
Brian's and
Yeah.
then those two can figure out
Okay.
which odors around and
All
get
right.
it worked on.
I say normally when we do the conservancy, it's always Josh, so we'll attempt to get him unless he's busy.
Okay, that's fine. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So motion by Jason, seconded by Nikki.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Jeff, we'll get on that.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll,
Keep
We'll see
in
what
touch
happens,
too.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Yes.
So when you see us out there, don't shoot at us.
Oh, no.
You're welcome to dig whatever you need to find that thing.
after they find it, they'll have to have a look.
See you, Jeff.
Thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much for your time.
But you can't dig without looking.
No, we can't dig without looking, but we can't,
Danielle, you come up next.
we don't know where to dig anyway.
So how is that gonna work? We're gonna go first, then one of the odors, and then what, do we have to pay for that?
We have to give them a drain.
Yeah, and then he'll have to hook up from
We
his
hope,
house
we
too.
hope we find it as far, right by the house. That's why I said, once we find it in the yard, in somebody's yard along there, then we'll run the camera and locator up and figure out how far up there it goes
Don't know if you realize this, we're getting there.
from me to the wall. He just has to get, he'll just have to get it around his house with a tile, rather than on top of the ground or something.
Yeah, we didn't have a legal drain.
Yeah, so, okay. Danielle, how are you?
Just peachy.
You are good.
What do you need? I don't even know what you need to get a permit to build.
So we have we have our building plans picked out. We have everything ready to go to build. We're just waiting because they won't build until we have drainage, water and sewer.
Well, part of
And
that statement is not us.
Yeah.
Part of this is,
your
drainage is
drainage
only
is
part
all
of
on
our-
for
Right.
y'all.
Okay.
So I don't know if it'll help or not. Um, I have um, the water and soil testy thingy that
Yep.
they do. I have a copy of that. I have a copy that shows where our parcel is and then a map of where all of the drainage ditches are that are like the bigger ditches and where they drain into. I have a copy of the topography that shows that it drains and it lowers at the northwest corner of the map. And then I went through and I listed like the right of way is 30 feet from center of road, the contour of land, all of the different watersheds that it's in. It's not in a flood zone. It's not wetlands. There are no drain tiles. There are no drainage ditches on the actual property. And then I have a measurement that has a map with where like the utility pole's 25 feet from the street. There's a sign that's approximately 40 feet from the road. There's a sign. It's approximately 36 feet from this property. Their building is 5 feet from the property line at the closest back end and 11 feet at this end. How far theirs is from the edge of the property. So like I have that all measured out and everything like that. But right now we can't even say where we can put a driveway because we can't, we need to put in a
Culvert.
culvert. But we can't put in a culvert because we don't know where to put the culvert because we don't know if there's drain tile there. When they went out there, they couldn't find any drain tile. Cause they've been out there a couple of times messing with it, but
Well, Nick said something about when that new pole went in, that big steel NIPSCO pole that they hit a tile. Do we know that for sure?
no, it's just when they put in that pole, like if you go down there and you look, you can see where the pole is. And then you can see like there's a buildup of ground north of the pole. Like, so you can access the town of Morocco sign to like put the stuff on it. There's a buildup there. That all used to be ditch and all the water used to flood where the sign is. Like that was always wet and it would go underneath Old 41 and go to the other side of it. But like our neighbor's culvert, his culvert is like the ground goes uphill. So like the water doesn't even go like down into his culvert anymore right there. And then you can see it's black and white, but you can see the water stands here and here. So we thought since this is already high, if we dug that where it's high and put the culvert there, it would help this water at least drain that way, but then it's just gonna pond over here because his thingy
Yeah,
isn't draining
I
either.
checked the-
Yeah, Nick said he
fall
saw
on
you out
that.
there.
And there's 12 feet of fall from, I think it's the Mason culvert in the road down to the culvert that goes under 41 at the curve, old 40,
Old 41, yeah.
so there's tons of fall. I
Yeah,
mean, that's a lot of
But
fall.
where does that go from? That's a county road. In
That part of Michigan is county.
county, that's not town. That's county.
That town owned all of Polk Street.
No,
No, so
Okay.
this is county road right here, all the way until just a little bit north of Grove Street.
Yeah, with the fence line.
But when we asked the county about it, it's in the 2 mile buffer zone, and they said that the town had taken over that.
that's not true.
No, that's not our road.
Not the road, the drainage and the culverts.
I don't believe that's true.
I don't believe that's true either.
We've never ever give a permit for a driveway that I've been involved in since I've been here.
And I've been here
Cause
18 years.
we didn't give any permits for these drives down here on Beaver Street.
That's also there.
Who did?
That's the county. The county is responsible
they-
for
did
that
they
section of
even-
road and that buffers up that easement on both sides of that, pole.
Did they even get permits for those?
I don't know.
So we filled out a permit, we took it in there and everything. They called us back and said that we had to go through the town because it's in the 2 mile buffer zone. The property is town property and then the road is 2 mile buffer
So
zone.
then that, with that statement, everything in the 2 mile buffer outside of town, even though it's a county road, we would be responsible for. That is not correct. There's no way that's correct. Cause all that stuff outside of the town limits, we do not pay for. That's them. So, I mean, I guess what I'm gonna say is give me a little bit more time to work with Sharon some more, cause I've been talking to her about your culvert in particular. We'll get to the bottom of that one. It won't take till the next meeting.
Okay, cause
Cause,
What Sharon do you talk to?
Lisa DeMontis.
see the
Oh, that
The
county
12
girl down there.
the 2 mile buffer is only in building, as far as I know, is building
Building permits, yep,
permits, that's it.
Yeah.
As far as this town is concerned.
yes,
If I wanna put a driveway in, I gotta take that up with the county.
yes.
That's like
Absolutely.
when Jack Story come in to get a tile or permit for his driveway for the new hog barn. That's not us, that's strictly with the town, or the county, I mean.
Yes,
So,
Because,
not,
okay, so
your house is technically not in town.
Yes, it is.
it's in the town limits?
It is within, it is the last property within town limits. We pay town taxes.
Yeah, the town limit.
that might change it.
The town limit stops at Earl Canes.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Brian?
My town limit stops at Earl Canes. Depends on the south side of, or the north side of Earl Canes is where our town limit stops.
So she's just wanting permission to put a culvert in?
No, I need my property to drain so that I do not have water that is still standing on it.
Well, the drainage
So-
outside of this city limits of Morocco,
It's city, but it's town limits.
you're not, because, I mean, I can't argue, that 'cause I don't know for sure. But what I'm saying is, to me, you're outside of city limits. Once you go past Earl Kane's house,
If
or
she-
even past the next house, the fence line where
if she
Dave
pays
Linlow is.
Taxes, she's got. to
Yeah,
do it.
here's my parcel number. It ends in 002. That's Morocco. I pay Morocco taxes. The land is the town of Morocco. The road is county road.
Okay,
So this was all annexed in 1999 when the town got the money for the sewer. It had to be annexed then in order to meet the requirements to get the money for the sewer.
So if that's the case, then we have to provide them a legal drain, but then they have to get to where it's draining,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Pretty much, yeah. There's something called allocation of resources, but I don't think that's the problem right now.
So is there
Or
a
it
tile?
is about,
I mean, is there a tile somewhere there that they can hook onto?
No. It's
The
not anywhere
only-
close.
the only actual tile that's, that field tile is probably over in Morgan's field somewhere.
And because there's the fiber optic cables that run all alongside that road, on the west side of the road, they don't want to dig
But-
anything over there.
And and Morgan's is a private tile, right?
Yeah, cause here's the, Jason, here, here's, my property is
Yeah.
here.
Can I steal
Yeah.
this real fast? Thank
You can have that. I make copies. It has lots of copies. Oh, yeah, no, we know that was, because I have to come to the town meeting at the next after this, because I need to know about water and sewer.
Where does our service end? Water and sewer.
Steve Hall's the last one on that side.
So there's a fire hydrant across from the skate park, just south of the drive right there to pull into the Masons.
Yeah, right in front of that field.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's across the street.
Yes.
So that we know, like, that we knew that the fire hydrant was there, so I know, like, you guys have water, like, out, water out that, it's out that way.
Brian, is water the problem? What
No.
was the problem? Sewer?
Yeah.
So we can get them water pretty easily.
Not easily, but we get water.
Okay, so my question is what's the town responsibility for that?
Well, up to this point, if they're out of town limits, so it's up to them to do it, but she's saying not. But I think the whole thing was when they did the $6 million grant, they had this buffer zone, just so that we could get the account of people. I don't think they allotted the ground to the town of Rockville. They just allotted the area.
Here is, I have copies of that.
Where's the Mason sewer go?
This is they don't have
They're
sewer.
down at Steve House.
They don't have it?
They don't have sewer or water at the lodge.
No, they do, yeah.
Yes, they do.
Well, they have bathrooms, I've been
Yeah,
in.
they have water and sewer.
They,
Yeah.
because they told us that they were on well and septic.
No.
Oh,
Mm.
well,
They get
they
a
might
wa-
have, okay.
No,
might
they get a
have
water
septic,
bill every
I was
month.
saying, they get a water bill.
Okay.
But
But
they could have a septic tank.
here's
No septic.
I brought a copy, I have a copy of the ordinance where that whole piece of land right there was annexed to be part of the town. And then I have the resolution for the town council for that. And then I have the recorded ordinance for where it was all annexed.
So their responsibility is gonna have to, they'll have to pay to hook up
Yeah, we have like the tap fee and to like get from the house to
Right.
the lines.
wherever the line's gonna be.
Yeah.
She's gonna, they'll have to pay to hook on to that.
We'll have to always like Steve House. The sewer. The water main runs out to the fire hydrant. That's the end of the water main. So we get water there, you have to make the road.
Is that main on, is that hydrant on the inside of town or the outside, the outgoing?
It's on the out part of town.
Okay, so there's two mains there. There's one coming in and one going out. Okay.
Right.
So we probably got another spot we got two before between some of those.
Before we even bought it, we came to make sure that getting water and sewer and all of that out there because it was in the town limits wasn't gonna be an issue. And we were told that yes, it was in town property, or it was in town limits, so that, yes, we should be able to hook up to everything. And so we went ahead and we bought it. And then we came to a meeting after we bought it and we were told that it was gonna get looked into because they didn't know where everything was gonna be ending at and that we would get back to. And that was on the meeting notes for all of 23 and all of 24. And then it was dropped off the meeting notes in 25 and we didn't come in because we figured, okay, like, when Nick would talk to people in passing, everybody was like, yeah, we're looking into it. We're still waiting on this person. We're waiting on that person. But now we're 3 years in and
So how soon are you wanting to start building?
we wanted to build last year. We have, like, I have my building, I printed it small, but like, we're literally, my builder won't build until we have these things. Because like, as soon as somebody tells, yes, we have these things and this is where they're gonna be. And then I have the money, just like cash money. It's not even a loan. It's just chilling in my bank account, waiting to build my house.
I think the first thing you ought to check into about the thing, I really think they're out of town limits. I don't know that that's, I know she's looked into this. I think I need to look into that to find out.
Well, it says on there they are.
Yeah, I pay town taxes on my tax bill. The parcel number is a town parcel number. It maps within the town limits. It was
Might be
annexed
in
in
it.
1999.
But it's not in the city limits. It's annexed to the city, but it's not in the
Doesn't
city.
have a
City,
crawl
the city
space
limit stops
or
before that
a
is the catch.
basement.
I'm sorry.
Basement or crawl space?
We wanted a basement, but because of the drainage,
The water level.
cause like right now at my house, my sump pump runs all the time. Like it kicks on 5, 6, 7 times a day,
Where you live now?
right next to Sherry.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Where
where I live now. So it kicks on 5, 6, 7 times a day. So like like having a crawl space with a sump pump, fine. Like I'll make, as long as it doesn't flood, I'm fine. But I just,
Gravity will take care of it. Easy
yeah, cause
crawl space. It should take care of it.
we have,
Cause you probably wanna raise it up a little bit anyway.
so this is the main road. There's a natural rise right here. And it is 48 inches and she still didn't hit water right there on that rise. But right here, she hit water at 14 inches. And by water, I mean like soup, at 14 inches. So we want to build here. I don't want to build that far back on the road because I wanted to have a backyard. But that's the best place to build to have the driest possibility. And then we had them come out and tell us where to put like French drain systems and stuff like that to best drain it, because we have a lot of water that's running off of the masons that's running into the property right through here. So they're said to put in a drain tile, like property drain, perimeter drain there. So like I've got all of the things, I just can't do anything.
We did do a drain that benefit the nation building too.
You have two holes in the galaxy, stand full of water. One's about right in the middle and the other one's in the back corner.
Yeah, that back corner, there's actually like stones that somebody put in there. And when it like, so it's gonna rain tomorrow. If you go out there tomorrow afternoon after it rains, you can hear the water run across the rocks because it goes down those rocks some and then puddles in where those trees are, and then it kind of slowly meanders back to that pond that's on other people's property.
What were you working on
Yeah.
with this from last month?
I was just trying to find a drain. And I mean, obviously, I mean, I know we'll do a bit more, but we need to find him a drain.
The closest drain that I know of is south of Limos Building, south of Jumping Mountain.
Yeah.
I thought at one point you talked about draining them to the back.
That's
did.
uphill.
We did,
We did.
but that's the state's
That's the
ditch.
state ditch.
And it's
And that's-
uphill.
We've waited for them to clean that.
Yeah, and they've done nothing.
They've not even come and looked at it that I know of.
So where's Limbo drain?
Into a tile. There's a tile around the
Can,
south side.
can they drain you that?
Well, it's like Bill said, it's uphill. It,
Oh, that'd be too much to cut.
Yeah, so
We'd have
this
to cut.
is,
20 feet behind Limos.
so this is, if you're looking like you're going north, that's where we're at. This is the beaver ditch over here, that's that drain tile there. And then the other ones are all the way out here behind everybody else's way south and uphill. Cause we used to mow this all the time when it was the Lions, and the water never used to stand in there ever at all. And it used to drain right along here and go down in here,
But they don't have, it's all on slab.
but well, currently it's draining into the yard in my front. You can see it on like the aerial photographs, the water has made,
Drain.
yeah, and that's what's making that big puddle in the front even worse.
Yeah, this tile probably outlets into a ditch here.
Yep,
now,
it comes into
open.
this one ditch right here, which is the
I
beaver.
think there's a ditch here. There's an open ditch all the way through there. But when did, that was dug in 1960. But it doesn't matter, it's still a drain tile. Yeah, that's interesting.
What about the drain back by the old well?
That's the one I'm talking, that goes by Lindlow's. That's on the south side of Lindlow's building. But the only way we could get there easily would be go through the woods all the way, from the back of her property
No,
at an angle through the swamp, through the mud pit.
The best is to go straight east from their property, go down through the swamp area. There where we burn, turn and go that way all the way over there.
Yeah, but then you're in all that wooded area.
Oh, yeah.
It's all over,
And then-
but yeah, there's,
Yeah.
we see away from the woods, yeah,
Sure.
you have to, that's solid.
Copy this. So I can
But no,
look at it.
Yeah, no, you don't even need to take a copy. I have more right here.
There's something pretty disinfected.
Oh, this.
This is the whole thing. I have another one right here.
No.
I brought copies. So
Okay.
whoever needs it can have whatever they need.
Did you and Ernie find the tile in, the guys, the remodel of the house out there, south of his, north of his house?
No, we never found it. Well, we found the tile right along the road, the old state road tile, but
Yeah.
it's full.
Yeah. I knew you found one because there was a hole out there, but I didn't know what,
Yeah.
didn't know if it was,
Yeah, we opened it up, I don't know, the county found it and then pulled
Yeah,
up
the
about,
folder
went out and dug it open and looked at it. And it was full.
How much
But that
land
would
is
have been
on
a, that would have been a state tile,
How
years
much
ago,
what?
So,
Land.
2.03 acres.
and I would assume that it went straight with the road, back in the day.
Right.
Old 41 went straight through. So it built that Y out there, it probably did that.
I don't even know what a good answer is for this one.
There's nothing on the east side of Polk going out that way. No.
Not that we have any records
Across the
of.
street, what about Don Doyle? Didn't we just put a new tile right there?
way north.
Oh, it's way north?
Way south, they're way north of that.
Oh.
It winds up in that tile.
It gets to that tile, but yeah, I don't know what the difference
But I
is.
thought the one going across that field was like a small tile.
I don't know. It's got a big outlet. Go pop the cover off of it.
It's got a big hole. Yeah, it's a big hole.
That's
But
one thing, that's the only place I know of where it's at.
Steve Howell said there was one that went catty cornered across that lot, be the south end of the skate park. Going across the fence from him. There was a tile that runs across that field.
Oh,
But he's not sure exactly where. He's there was one back there, but he's not sure exactly where.
well, could we probe it?
That one there would be exploring digging, so just take.
And Polk Street usually has a 60-foot easement, that'd be 30. Is
Mhm.
that where you- Polk
Yeah,
Street's got 30?
So, well, because it's not Polk Street, it's county. So it has a 30-foot, and that's what's on, I have all of that down for you guys there.
So is it like,
So 30 from center. So technically, so like
is that like 300? is that the road?
350, 300, something like that. If you go on Beacon and you click addresses, it gives a weird address, like a county address, but the town address is 813. But like the telephone poles are at 25 feet, so the easement is 5 feet further into the property past the telephone poles.
Well, the skate park is 801 North Polk.
She's 813.
Then the house north of her is a county road number.
Yes,
Might never annexed in.
and across the street is county.
Yeah, and I'm sort of like Ryan, the only way we can get a tile to that property, period, is to go east. And then angle across the backside of the old mud pit. Or it was out there and go into the field.
You can't go north down along the Polk Street.
Maybe, but I mean, if we put it 5 feet deep in front of our house, we're only gonna be,
How far back are you trying to put the house?
So we're here. So this is the road. This right here is the rise. This gives me the best chance to have a dry crawl space. I might be able to get a 4-foot crawl space.
You just keep it 5 feet deep from the surface all.
So that's
Possibly.
pretty, this is
And
the end of your
no.
property?
This is the end of the property. And that's so if you go right behind the masons, you can see that there's like, fence posts from with the wire.
On the east side or west side of the
Okay.
pole?
Both sides.
Both sides?
Yeah, but most of it's on the west side. I think there's a phone line on the east side, but fiber optic and cable and.
You
all
can
the other
keep that
stuff
if you
is on
want
the
it.
west
Yeah.
side.
I was like, I brought copies because I didn't know.
I have phone line. I think the AT&T phone line is on the east side, but fiber optic, everything else is on the
West side.
west side, I think.
And that, the line that's on the corner by the road that goes towards the box, towards the dark box there.
There's a big box
That
there.
is where the transformer's already on that pole. So that's where NIPSCO would like to do the power from there to the house. And we want to do the power underground. We don't want to do lines for that long because the wind out there. I don't want power blinking all the time. I don't like to reset my clocks.
Yeah. that's gonna go down low.
You don't have any wind up there.
The,
We could get a quote for that.
Is that gonna be NIPSCO out there or AMC?
NIPSCO.
Okay, well, NIPSCO just passed the thing. What did they tell us the other day? NIPSCO just said something. They're done putting ground in for wires in the ground.
Oh,
Everything's gonna be overhead now. So they're gonna set poles. So all the new houses out here along
Beaver,
they're gonna put poles through them now. They're not gonna put anything in the ground anymore.
Because they're locked up now.
They just passed it last week or 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago now.
you think
I don't know what that.
the ground would make sense?
So let's let NIPSCO come set a pole. We'll find tile.
Well, I can call them and ask them to put temporary electric out there, but they would put the temporary electric where they want to put it at is basically,
Or you want to
So your gal down
no,
there,
no, they
she
don't,
just
they're
doesn't
paying
wanna
this
do
for.
anything.
They don't
there?
want to put it
She
in there
thinks
because
it's our
they have no way to access
responsibility,
to
and
it.
if it's town limits and she pays town taxes, then
Yeah, I mean,
probably. But it's a county road, so her and I are just bickering.
who's
Yeah,
it?
the worst thing, so that was the other thing is because it's a county road and we're coming in and out basically on a county road, there's no like town access for the property. So that's why we went to the
Oh.
county about it. And they were like, no, that's town property and it's in the buffer zone. You have to go to the town.
So the
Ken,
buffer zone really shouldn't count, because like I said.
Right, it doesn't count.
All of
If that's town property or town
Yes,
zoned,
So
then it's,
your little driveway
the
would
county has
go
nothing to do
across
with any part
ground
of it.
that's not
Yeah.
yours then, is that right?
other than.
No, it's all on
the
ours.
Right away
You go-
from the,
you
when
own
it
the
leaves
right
her
of the road.
property.
Yeah,
It
so
goes north, that's all
ideally,
county.
so there's
that is.
two really nice sugar
Where
maple
she
trees
wants-
right
So if
here
we
and
wanna
right
run a
here.
tile, the county.
So
has to pay
I
for
want to
it.
put my driveway here.
Okay, and you own all this.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this isn't gonna be fixed overnight.
This is, definitely a very expensive adventure, and so that's probably why it's taken so long, because this, I'm just gonna be honest, like, this property is probably was never meant to build on, in my opinion. And I understand that you've already bought it, we already made plans, so it's a different story, but good grief.
Well, we came and asked before we bought the property and it was annexed into the town. And the information that was provided was it was originally annexed for economic development. So they intended to build something on it. We came and we asked for a zoning change so that we could have a residence and a business, not just a business on it. And that got approved. So like, we did our due diligence by making sure before we ever bought it that it was okay to build there.
I know, I'm
And
just telling you my opinion and where
I-
we're at today.
Yeah, and like the money was allocated for the sewer out there back when it was annexed through the fiscal plan. But they didn't ever run the sewer out there.
That was way before.
Yeah, no, I was like, this was 1999. This was before y'all. So like, at one point in time, it was budgeted for, but it just never got done. And now I'm sitting on property I can't build on for 3 years now. And we've outgrown our house. Like I need space. One bathroom is not enough for 3 people.
I definitely get that part. So where are we gonna start with this then?
Well, for us to run a tile out there, we gotta get a permit from the county. It's gonna have to be engineered by the county's engineer to run the tile from Old 41 up to their property, to the town, to the south side of her property. Or the north side of her property. In front of those people's that just remodeled that house.
Mhm.
Yeah. If
They
we're gonna
do
do
not
it
have
before
water
they do
or
finish their
Right.
drive.
But yeah, I mean, their drive is it's just a driveway, so it's not, I'm not worried about their driveway. I'm not worried about her driveway. We can put that pipe any depth we need to get the water off of it. We just need to get the water from her property across those people's property because we can't shoot it across their property above ground. So it has to be in the ground. The way I understand it, it has to be in ground. You can't put it above ground. So the
Okay.
county has to get us a tile from Old 41 to their property.
Oh, Tony?
I would think so. It's in the, it's not in our, it's not in our. I don't know. I don't know where the line draws there.
I don't either.
It's literally my north boundary.
No, I
For-
know that.
oh,
No, I
for the
know that
road?
part. I know that part. I don't know whose responsibility it is
Oh, for the tile.
to put the tile in, to get it from point A to point B. Once it gets to the town, I understand who takes care of it. Once it gets from the county property to the town property, it becomes the town's drainage. But to get it to there, since there's nothing there, if there was one there already, it'd be understood, the county would take care of it to to the town line. But since it's not there already to put a new one in, I don't know who's. I can tell you right now, the town doesn't have that kind of money. That's 2,500 feet of tile.
How much would something like that cost?
But what, $12 a foot, $15 a foot?
Oh, like 70.
And it'd be more than that. It'd be more than that because you gotta go, they're gonna have to dig around all the power lines and
I think
everything in the ground.
Last time that we did argue it was.
And the right of way is not big enough.
72.
Cause 30 feet from the center's basically gonna hit the telephone poles
That's the telephone poles are at 25.
from the center.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's why I say, so we gotta go by every pole. No, NIPSCO will have to hold every pole to go by them. So I don't know.
30,000 to run the water and the sewer down there.
Each?
Yeah.
Total?
So, yeah, I hate to put you off, Danielle, but I think you're above all of our grade. Asking these questions. I don't know what to tell you to make it easy for you. We deal with water that is already here and tile that are already here. This is putting a new tile in that's not on. We're crossing 1, 2, or 3 different people. Unless you guys have something else you can think of that,
Jason?
yeah, you deal with new homes all the time, Jason. How do they get water? Rid of groundwater.
First to Jason.
Yeah,
I'm still-
He's searching.
He's searching.
I'm looking.
So we didn't know if we just dug the ditches and put in new culverts to just get it to go in the ditch
That would take care of the
To-
surface water.
to take care of the surface water, because that's the biggest problem. Just make it go where it used to go.
All
Cause,
those culverts are kind of messed up along there.
cause if that's what there's like, so it would be the Mason's culvert. We know we pay for our own culvert. It's like $700. Then our new culvert, then the people to the north of us, then the little yellow house driveway.
That's it. That's all there is.
So that would be like 4 culverts and a really nicely dug ditch.
That's all.
And the Masons is north, is south of you, or north, or south of you, so you really wouldn't need to mess with the Mason, but.
But if you just want to get rid of thing, depending on what the depth is, you
Right.
could actually
But
put
they
a
still
swale
need
on the north side of that property into our
Drainage for
property.
the house.
Pardon?
If they wanted to cut a swale on the north side of their property into our property and feed it to the.
And we didn't know if like
The swamp is in the back.
retention pond,
Yeah, but
Right.
like,
you got elevations for that?
I did not. I said somebody's gonna have to see
Yeah.
if that is possible or not.
That's what I thought we were talking about the last time, is just draining it back to
Well,
our property.
Originally, we were, when the state highway when I called the guy at State Highway. He used to be the baseball coach, I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Anyway, he came and looked at it. And he said he would give it to some guy in the port,
Never came.
and he would get back with us. And that was, when were you here, 3 years ago? You still?
No, I think last meeting, you weren't
Oh,
here
no,
last.
this was a long time ago.
Yeah,
This was
no,
3 years
and
ago.
So last
Last-
month,
Laporte came
Last
back
month,
with,
this is
they
what we
only
talked
deal with
about.
water if it's standing on the road, and since 41 is above ground level all along that ditch, they don't feel the need to clean the ditch or deal with the ditch. And then there had been talk about putting a swell along the back of our property on
Into
the
that
town
ditch.
property to make sure it stayed going into the pond that's back there.
You can't put it there, because that's not our pond.
And
The pond's high, the pond next door is higher than our.
Yeah.
anyway, so
Yeah.
If they could swale it back into the backside of our property, it'd be fine. And that was the original plan, was to put a swale on the north side of their property, through our property to the state property, and then the state was gonna clean it to the north, all the way to the culvert, get in that little ditch. But then but because, like you said, the road is elevated there, so the state doesn't care one way or another.
and I don't know if NIPSCO be like, hey, you put this pole in here and now it doesn't drain in these ditches the way it used to. Fix it would help or not.
Oh, no.
Well, you come in.
Yes,
so you can't do that, you can't drain it back to our property?
maybe. We haven't,
Oh, well, he was sitting there shaking his
He's
head
gonna
no.
have to-
yeah,
have to get somebody to take an
I don't think so.
elevation of it.
yeah.
Because it's uphill.
That's gotta be the
Oh,
best thing to do right now.
south, I think it'd be
Yeah,
too much
that's
cut.
the only feasible thing we got right now. The
Yeah,
cheapest-
we gotta just get the elevation back there to see which way we can get water to go.
Right. And it can't go north.
Yeah,
Cause it's got 12 feet or something.
No, because it's the neighbor's property.
yeah.
You can't
Oh.
put surface water on the top of your neighbor's yard.
Okay.
Let's get permission. That's what she's getting. Basically, we're doing that. We're gonna put it on our property. We don't care.
The surface
Yeah.
would be pretty simple to deal with. It's the drainage for the house. That's the important thing. Think about to do. The surface water, just
Who can we get to do that,
taking care
Brian?
of those culverts, that surface water would go.
Get somebody with the transit so they can.
They can go in
take
there.
it and go.
Can you contact them, Jason?
Oh, yeah, or we can, whichever one we need to call.
Yeah.
I don't care who does it. We just need
Yeah.
to, like. I understand their frustration. We're all frustrated over the situation. Like, at least
It's
if
not an
we,
easy fix, no matter how.
no, it's not gonna be an easy fix, but. We gotta try something first.
Could we put a retention pond right there on there's oak trees to the east of our property, it's like a little empty spot. Sometimes they use it as overflow parking in that field that's right there.
But there still has to be a tile for the pond. You can't just dump water into a pond.
I don't,
So could we, like, I didn't know if we could tile from our property to the retention
Oh, yeah,
pond.
you could do that, but we have to get rid of once the detention pond's on our property, we
Mhm.
have to get rid of the water.
Oh,
I don't.
So we still have to run a tile somewhere.
gotcha. I didn't think it would have enough water that it would ever be an issue.
I don't think it would run into that. I think it's too much water.
Yeah, yeah, I don't have any idea.
So I still say we try to get the elevations, get somebody to do that. And then we talk to the county and see what the deal is with that runs along that road.
Right.
We gotta figure out, is it ours or is it theirs?
Yeah, I've always thought that was Polk Street, all the way to 41. I didn't know it changed to.
And of course, originally that would have been a state road, so it'd been a 75-foot right way, but I don't know if they changed it at some point.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's wrap it up for her then, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
We're
we're gonna,
we'll get somebody to shoot some elevations for us, Danielle, and figure out what our options are. Cause at this point,
What's wrong with my elevations?
no, you can do it, Bill. You wanna do it?
Yeah, do you
No,
wanna do it though?
Yeah.
I don't have that, no,
We have,
I already did it.
I
I
was like,
already-
we have an elevation
I
thingy,
already
Yeah,
know.
no.
the
we
whole
need it.
kit.
We needed actually, I mean,
Yeah,
I would say we needed, I don't wanna hire a company to do it, but like if JR would, or Josh, or whoever would go out there and just put flags where the elevations are when they set it here and it's X
Mhm.
number of feet, and this one's X number of feet, and then we could see it on, we could put it on our screen and see where it's at,
Right.
and see which way we gotta go. So
And that can be done quickly.
I would guess they, I mean, they're gonna probably be able to get it done in the next couple weeks, I would think. I don't know what their schedules are, but
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to guess what their schedules are. I mean, I know JR is working over at Rensselaer, putting sewer in.
So they're right now.
I think they're done over there.
So you probably get Josh to do it.
I think JR finished over there though.
Oh, did he? Okay. So,
Okay, so you guys will reach out to one of them and get
Who is
them.
gonna do that? Let's make one person
can
responsible.
you get a hold of JR
Yeah.
or Josh?
Brian, I'll get a hold of
Okay.
them. See what-
Brian, you good
Brian.
with doing that? Okay.
Yep.
So Brian's gonna get a hold of one of them to shoot the elevation.
Yeah, and then we'll get,
And then who's gonna call the county to see what's going on with this?
I am.
All right, Nikki's gonna call the county. And is that it then for that?
for this one, I think that's all we can do right now. I don't know what else we can do with this one, Danielle. I mean, like I told you before, I feel bad. We can't answer your question tonight, but
so as
we
far as,
just, basically the town just found out it was their property. Or
So-
was in the town tonight, so.
but I came to the meeting 3 years ago and you guys knew it was in town when I asked about getting the water and the sewer out there.
Well, I'm not gonna speak. You might have come to the town. The town board members have all changed since you were here last time. None of these people were aware of that, I'm guessing. Have you been on one for
Should
3
be in
years?
minutes.
This is the.
No,
summary.
yeah, it's in the minutes,
This is the start of your.
cause I
third year,
have,
yeah.
I have those too.
No, I'm not doubting it, Danielle. I'm
But
just saying these
that's-
people are not.
I
they're not
know,
aware
I
of it.
just. Yeah.
I know it sucks, but give me this time, give us time to get this done, okay?
Mhm.
I understand. And I really appreciate your information and your patience.
Yeah, did anybody else need, I brought.
Nope, I haven't.
No,
You got
I see everything I need to see on this, so.
So hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we'll have answers for this.
Yeah, so as soon as they can get it on, print them a map from the county thing with this. And then,
We'll see what we can get, yeah.
yeah, at least it can print you one. She can print you one right off our GIS system.
Yeah,
And
that's
just have
what's
Brian-
in,
Then just have Brian or
That's what I
Josh,
did.
whoever.
I was
go
gonna
out there
say,
and just
it's
pinpoint
in
where they're
color
at.
and in there,
Use our,
so with the markers.
use our pointer where they're taking them out. That way we can pull them up on the screen and we can see where it goes. We got that fancy machine. We ought to use it once.
I told Brian he's gonna have to learn that.
Yeah, you might learn real fast.
So who's gonna contact her once we get all this crap together?
I'll call her. Once we get it all together, I'll call her and we'll,
You got her number?
we can, get together up here and see it on the TV screen and figure out how we gotta get to it.
Okay.
We won't
Deal.
have any answers. We'll just see how we're gonna try to move water.
Okay.
Keep having forward steps.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
This is progress. Everybody's got a job that they're gonna do to
so-
contact
From the
people.
water, so
You-
we'll talk to Cody or Becky
and I'll
about.
just send me contact. You got mine, right?
Probably, if not, I can,
Yeah, just give me your number.
219
Yep,
863
yeah,
0646.
okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the water sewer part, we'll talk to Becky about and find out about that too. Cause I don't know. I have no idea. Cause I'm sure we're gonna have to get a price for that.
All right,
Yeah,
for
that'll-
sure. I was gonna say, they had a quote for water and sewer.
I thought it was $60,000.
No, I thought somebody said it was only gonna be like 12 to 24.
Okay.
It was, I know it was under 30,000. And they said that the majority of it was the sewer.
Okay. So we'll double check on that too. Brian, who would we get to, JR would be able to, okay, so
Mhm.
can you get with that too? JR about the water and the sewer,
You guys are gonna have a huge bill.
figure it out.
We did look into, to septic and well out there when we first looked at it. But because of how wet it is,
Mhm,
putting a septic out there was going to be an issue.
mhm,
And I don't want septic. That's why we bought
mhm.
that, was so that we didn't have to deal with septic.
Yeah, that time originally when you talked about it, I think you
What?
found out that you gotta put a amount out there, it's gonna be somewhere around 40.
Do
Do that,
Yes.
it's gonna cost you 20 for a well, so they thought it'd be easier for us to keep water. So we're gonna have to spend the 60 or 80 grand to get you water and sewer instead of you spending it.
I don't know, but
Turn
we
that off,
bought
please.
that
We're gonna be
specifically so that we
adjourned. We got
could
another
be
meeting at 6,
on
right?
water